Hey everybody, welcome to another con support video. This one is on dividing positive and negative fractions. So let's take a look on your con assignments there. Dividing positive and negative fractions right there. I'm going to click on that one. We'll get started. Okay, let's get ready to practice. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, see if that makes it a little easier for you guys to see the problems. And then let's get the whiteboard out and we'll do some of these problems together. All right, let me clear this off for you guys. Okay, so the big idea here, the quickest and easiest way to divide fractions is to change them to multiplication. And so all you got to remember is dividing fractions is easy as pie. You just flip the second and multiply. Or keep flip change, depending on how your teachers have taught to you in the past. And if no one's ever taught it to you, I'll show you right now how it works. So if you're doing 6/5 and you're dividing it by 5/8, this is the way it works. If you say dividing numbers is easy as pie, just flip the second and multiply. What that basically means is the one on the left stays the same, because that's what's being divided. So that's going to just be 6/5. You're going to flip the one that you're dividing by to its top and bottom reciprocal, right? So flip it top to bottom. And so 5/8 becomes 8/5. In other words, if you're dividing by 5/8, it's the same as multiplying by 8/5. And you're going to change division to its reciprocal or inverse operation, multiplication. So ultimately, when you have 6/5 divided by 5/8, it's exactly the same as saying 6/5 times 8/5. You just take the one on the right, flip it top to bottom, and change your division to multiplication, and make sure that the one on the left stays the same. So that's why sometimes my teachers might have said keep, flip, change. And what that basically means is you keep the one on the left, right? That's the one on the left that stays the same. You flip top to bottom on the thing you're dividing by, and then you change your division into multiplication. All right, keep, flip, change. So that's how it works. Let's do 6/5 times 8/5 now. So now you're going to apply all your skills from multiplication. They work the same way. So are there any things we can cancel from top to bottom? The answer is no. So then you're just going to multiply across the top and across the bottom. So 6 times 8 goes on top, and 5 times 5 goes on bottom. And 6 times 8 is 48, and 5 times 5 is 25. And then you ask yourself, how many times does 25 go into 48? And the answer is 1. That'd be 25. And then there's how many left over? Well, 50 would be 2 of those 25s, right? So it's 2 shy of that. So it'd be 23 25ths, right? And that would be equivalent to 48 25ths. So 1 in 23 25ths is your answer. And you're going to go over here and put that in. So you put 1 space and then 23/25. And so, oh, nice work, good job, we did it right. And then we can do the next one. Now, remember, when you have a fraction line, that just means top divided by bottom. So they're trying to make it a little bit weirder for you seeing that fraction line, but it's the same exact thing. So when you have 9 over -5, and you see a fraction line, whoa, like that, and then you have -3 over +8, that just means top divided by bottom. So that's exactly the same as 9 over -5, okay, divided by -3 over 8. These are the equivalent statements. Now remember, when you have a negative on the top or bottom of a fraction, you can pull it out in front. So you can rewrite that if you want as -9/5 divided by -3/8. Because whenever you have a negative on either the top or the bottom, you can just pull it out in front of the ratio. Okay? So now we've got a negative divided by a negative. What's the sign going to be on that? The answer is going to be a positive, so put a positive in a box. You know the answer is positive. We now need to ignore the sign completely. We don't need to worry about it. And now we're going to do KFC, keep, flip, change. We're going to keep the one on the left the same, 9/5. We can ignore the signs. It doesn't matter anymore. We know it's a positive answer. We're going to change the division to multiplication, and we're going to flip the one on the right to its reciprocal. So 3/8 becomes 8/3. And by bringing those negatives out in front and resolving our sign first, we make this thing a lot less confusing, right? So now we have 9/5 times 8/3. Look to see if there's anything we can cancel top to bottom. I'm looking at it and I'm seeing the 9 and the 3 can be canceled because both are divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then I would finish strong, multiply across top and bottom. 3 times 8 is 24, and 5 times 1 is 5. So we know the answer is going to be 24/5, but that can be simplified, right? What is 24/5? Well, 5 goes into 24 4 times. That's 20 with 4 left over. So it's really going to be 4 4/5, right? So the correct answer should be positive 4 4/5. Let's check it. 4 space 4/5. There we go. Nice work, us. To the next problem. So on the next problem, let's minimize that. On the next problem, we've got negative 3/2 divided by positive 7/4. This is an easier one. Let's just go through and do this nice and comfortably. So this is negative 3/2. We're dividing it by a positive 7/4. Remember, resolve your sign first. A negative divided by positive is going to be a negative answer. So put a negative in a box. And then key flip change. Let's change our division to multiplication. The one on the left is going to stay the same. I'm going to ignore the sign. I don't need the signs anymore. I know the answer is negative. So that's going to stay the same. The one on the right is going to flip top to bottom to its reciprocal. So 7 and 4 are going to switch places, right? So instead of 7/4, we have 4/7. And you're going to change your division to multiplication. And now we're going to look for any common factors we see on top and bottom. I see 2 and 4 can both be divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then you're going to multiply across the top and across the bottom to finish off. 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 times 7 is 7. So the answer in value is 6/7, but it's not positive, it is negative. So the answer is negative 6/7. That's why we have that sign in the box, so we can't get confused. So it's negative space 6/7, and you're good to go. And then the next one here, the last one I should say, is another one of those fraction ones where they try to make it a little confusing by making it a fraction instead of a division. But fractions are division, top divided by bottom, same exact thing. So you have a negative 2 over negative 7, and that's all on top of positive 4 over negative 9. They got lots of negatives there trying to freak you out. Don't get freaked out. It's pretty simple. Watch. You just take that first one, negative 2 over negative 7. Put that in front. The fraction line is divided by. That's divided by right there, okay? So we can make that all color-coded if you like. That's your purple divided by. That's your divided by. See? Top divided by bottom. And the bottom we have 4 over negative 9. Remember to resolve your signs, so let's do that right now. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So really that 2/7 is a positive 2/7. That's its real value. We're dividing that positive 2/7 by, this is really a negative 4/9, right? Because any positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative answer. Or if you've got the negative just on the bottom, you can pull it out in front. Now we're going to go through and resolve our sign. So this is ultimately a positive value divided by a negative value, which means the answer is going to be a negative value. So we know the answer is going to be a negative in a box. And then we can do KFC, key flip change, or dividing fractions is easy as pi. Just flip the second and multiply. So the one on the left stays the same, 2/7. The one on the right, we flip to its reciprocal. We can ignore the sign because we know the sign is going to be a negative answer. And then we're going to change division to multiplication. So ultimately, this is 2/7 times 9/4. You're just looking to see what common factors you have on top and bottom. And I'm looking at it and I see that we've got a common factor with the 2 and the 4 of 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Remember, you can only cancel 1 from top, 1 from bottom, just like that. Because what you're really doing is you're dividing top and bottom by 2. And dividing top and bottom by 2 is dividing by 1, because 2 over 2 is 1. And dividing by 1 doesn't change values. So that's why it works. So 1 times 9 is 9, and 7 times 2 is 14. So the ultimate answer here is that this is worth negative 9/14. That's why I have that negative in a box. Once you know your sign, put your sign in the box. You're done with that. Don't worry about the sign anymore. So this is negative 9/14. Negative space 9/14, and you're good to go. And that is how you do that skill. All right, see you guys later.